the challenges for the international students in US. So this is the members of the group 2. So according to the Institute of International Education, over 1,043,839 of the students from all around the world enroll into the public and private institutions in US from 2015 until today. And this pie chart represents the data. As one of them, I know most of us experience the same obstacles and challenges here. So the type of challenges for the international students are depression, food selection, culture shock, and language barrier. For the first one is the factors of depression. First and foremost, financial difficulties. Secondly, academic difficulties due to the transition of the new system. Next, feeling culturally or socially misunderstood. Social isolation because of the language barrier and the recent loss of family members. There is a quote: "If students do not feel adequate or prepared to cope with the new environment of a college campus, they could easily become susceptible to depression and anxiety," said Harrison Davis, PhD Assistant Professor of Counseling and Coordinator of the Community Counseling Master Program at North Georgia College and State University. So these are the symptoms. First one, feeling sadness, lonely and hopeless. Next, loss of interest or pleasure, most or normal activities like hobbies. Third, sleeping disturbance like insomnia or sleeping too much. Next, tiredness and lack of energy, trouble thinking, concentrating and making decisions. And last but not least, have a suicidal thought or attempt. So, in order to overcome these problems, they need to spending time with friends and try to do fun things, have a meeting with the counselor to seek for help, do some exercise or sports, and take advantage of campus resources like RPAC, get enough sleep, and lastly, please avoid using drugs.
Hi guys, my name is Bonnie Yuan. I'm gonna talk about one of international student challenges, food selection. When international students come to study in United States, the first and biggest challenge is food. Why? Because they live in their hometown for many years. They are used to eat food in their country and their moms cook. However, food in America is totally different from the food in their own country. Some international students might not adapt to the new environment and miss their hometown's food. Here are some examples of international students who have food selection challenges. These are the solutions to help international students to overcome these difficulties. There are some good restaurants from other countries near campus. I hope that this can help international students to find their country's traditional food and have fun with them. First of all, Chinese food. Here's a hot pot restaurant named Mr. Pot. I have been to this restaurant for many times. It has many choices for the pot: spicy, curry, tomatoes, miso, and so on. It's a kind of Chinese traditional food. This image you see on this slide is a spicy hot pot. Here is a Chinese restaurant which has delicious dumplings and noodles. The name of the restaurant is Jie's Good Tasting. This is Xi'an, which is a city of China, a Xi'an-style restaurant. This image you see on this slide is dumplings, which is a type of Chinese traditional food. Secondly, Korean food. This is a Korean restaurant named Diaspora on the High Street. It is very close to our campus. I have been there for many times, although I'm not Korean. I really like the food here. The sushi is very good. 30. This is a Japanese restaurant. This is a Japanese fast food restaurant. It has Japanese traditional type of food. The image you see on this slide is curry with pork steak. What's more, there's a Japanese market beside the restaurant. Last but not least, international students can also learn how to cook at home. There are a lot of teaching websites. They can cook their hometown dishes by themselves when they miss the food in their countries.
There are 3 examples of culture shock. The first one is ways of gathering, an emphasis on children's education, and ways of paying. First one, ways of gathering. American students intend to play with friends in bars, dancing and drinking, but some international students would like to go for a meal together. For example, 2 of my roommates often go out with their friends at night to have fun. When I asked them, they told me that they usually go to bars or friends' houses to take part in parties. But for us international students, we don't know many local students here, so there are less chances for us to go to someone's house and take part in parties. We are inclined to call a bunch of friends to have lunch or dinner together, and we will communicate and share our own interesting stories or talk about our problems. The second one is emphasis on children's education. American parents attach more importance on children's independence and interests. Most of Americans' children are developed to and independent and self-aware. In other countries, like China, most parents pay more attention to children's grades, said by Jacqueline S. Eccles, the professor of psychology at the University of Michigan. In my growing environment, I always heard some neighborhoods showing off their children's ranking or rewards they get in school because of good grades in an exam. My friends, classmates, and I are all told to study harder and get good grades for every exam. So we spent too much time on studying in our childhood instead of receiving more education for all-around development. The last one is ways of paying. American people usually go Dutch, just pay for their own bill. But some other countries' people would like to pay for the whole bill. For example, if we go out for a meal with some friends, usually one of us will go to pay for the whole bill proactively.
International students not being proficient in English could be one of the biggest problems that keep them from being integrated into this whole new environment. And that makes them feel isolated and lonely. Sometimes they feel really desperate to try to keep up with the class schedule because they could easily feel frustrated in this situation. But the truth is, when you force yourself out of your comfort zone, you can easily find out that lots of local students are very patient and kind. So be the first one to start the conversation with them and never be afraid to make mistakes. Also, there are many service sectors on campus to which for international students to turn for help. That is how you turn the vicious circle into the virtuous circle. After all that effort, you can feel you're stronger than ever. I believe you can adapt to your college life really soon. Hope you have a successful future. Thank you.
So to sum up everything, most of international students face the same problems and challenges here. These include depression, food selection, culture shock, and last but not least, language barrier. However, even though with all of these obstacles, we can still survive and live happily here.